In this video, we're going to discuss demand, quantity demand, and the change in demand and change in quantity demand. So it is an important basic concept for the topic demand and supply. So let's start. So demand refers to the quantities that the consumers are willing and able to buy for the products, for the good at all given price over a period of time. So let's take a look here. So I have a demand schedule for ice cream. So there is a given at different price. The consumer, they are willing and able to buy different quantity. So we call this quantity as quantity demanded. So let's try to plot this diagram. So at the price of 3, the consumers, they are willing and able to buy 15 units. At the price of 4, the consumer are willing and able to buy 13 units. At the price of 5, the consumer are willing and able to buy 11 units. At the price of 6, the consumer are willing and able to buy 9 units. Just like that, then we can plot a simple demand curve. So we label it as D. D stands for demand curve. So this demand curve is basically constructed based on the demand schedule. So it can be over a period of time, for example, let's say a month, right? So after we get this demand curve, which is when we are given different price, what is the quantity demand of the consumers? So we have introduced the demand. How about the quantity demand? So for quantity demand, we can take a look. Let's say at the price of $6, we know that the quantity demand will be 9 units. How can we see this? So at the price of 6, the quantity demand is 9 units, just like that. So we know that for the quantity demand, we refer back to the price, then we find the quantity demand of the consumers that they are willing and able to buy the quantity of that good. So let's take a look at the change in quantity demand of a good. So we use QD to present quantity demand. So we have mentioned that at the price of 6, the quantity demand will be 9. How about, how do we say there's a change in quantity demand? It is due to there's a change in the price. So let's say the price change from $6 to $3. Okay, the price decreased from 6 to 3. So at the price of $3, the quantity demand is 15 units. Just like that. So when there is a price change of that good, of ice cream, we observe that there is a change in quantity demand. Since we have these downward sloping demand curve, which represent the negative relationship between the price, the y-axis, and the quantity, the x-axis, then economists, they have concluded there is a lot of demand. It means that when the price of a good increase, the quantity demand of that good will decrease. Vice versa. So it means that the opposite way, when the price decrease, the quantity demand will increase, because we have to do an analysis. We would say that ceteris paribus. It means that holding other things equal. So we have concluded that there is a lot of demand. The price increase, quantity demand decrease, vice versa, ceteris paribus. So there are a few examples about this. So the first level is the price of a good. So let's say you have the Disneyland. You want to go to Disneyland. So to enjoy the Disneyland service, let's say. So when the price is $500 per ticket, so consumers, let's say for me, I would go there like once per month. However, if the ticket price decrease to $200 per ticket, perhaps I will go more frequently. So from once per month, now perhaps because the ticket price has decreased and I would like to go there more frequently, then I will go there 3 times per month. So this is an illustration of the law of demand, which really match with the consumer's behavior. So for Disneyland, when the price decrease, the quantity demand of the good increase. Okay. So other than that, the law of demand can be applied to other aspects. So let's list another example. Okay, so let's talk about the cost here. Let's say in a country, if people they throw the trash on ground, so each time they will receive the punishment. They will receive the punishment of, let's say, $5,000. If they're being caught throwing rubbish on the ground, they have to be fined for $5,000 each time. So when it is like this, because the price, the cost for their behavior is expensive, so perhaps let's say for this city, so there will be 100 people do this behavior of throwing rubbish on the ground. However, we can observe that, we can predict that if the punishment fine increase significantly, let's say this time the punishment, the cost has been increased to 100,000. Oh, very expensive. Such an expensive cost if you commit this bad act, right? Then you can expect that is the behavior going to increase more frequently or less frequently? Of course, it is very scary. So people, they know that they shouldn't do this wrong behavior. So perhaps there will be only 5 people trying to attempt and act this wrong behavior. So for this time, we can see that if the cost, this time we treat cost as a price. So if the cost increase, the quantity demand this time for doing this action of throwing trash on the ground will decrease. So again, this has illustrated our law of demand. So let's go to the final scenario. This time, let us talk about the risk. So very similar. So sometimes we can observe that risk also have the same. It is consistent with a lot of demand. So let's say we are going to do a dangerous activity, which is very dangerous. So let's say a person, okay, a person is going to run very wrong, okay, very wrong. So this person runs at night, okay, run at night of the highway, of the highway. Okay, so let's say this person has to run at night on the highway. So let's say without any light, without any equipment. Very bad. Don't behave like this. Okay? So at this scenario, very risky, very risky. So this person know that if this individual is going to do this risky behavior, his survival very risky. His survival chance will be like 1%. Okay, so he is not likely to do this risky behavior. So we know that when the risk is high, we do not take the risk. We do not do this risky behavior. Let's say, how about there is some improvement. So he can find a way that he can run at night. This time, he has a very safe gear. Very safe gear to help him to survive. So this time, after he have the safe gear with him, very safe. So this time the risk drop. Then his survival chance will increase significantly to 99.9%. So what do you expect? Before that, very risky. He will not likely to do the behavior. But after this, the risk decrease. He will attempt more than do more. So we go back to the law of demand. Okay, so when the risk this time, we treat the price as the risk. So when the risk decrease, he is going to do this time more. So the demand increase. He's going to do the action more. So again, it illustrates the law of demand. So we can say that the law of demand really is consistent a lot in our daily life. That's why it is called law and economics. Very important and very interesting phenomenon. So this is law of demand of three aspects: the price, the basic, the cost, and the risk. So lastly, let's talk about the change in demand. So let's talk about the change in demand. So we have talked about the change in quantity demand like this. So it is due to the price increase or decrease, then the quantity demand. So if the price increase, quantity demand decrease. If the price decrease, the quantity demand increase like this. How about what is the change in demand? Change in demand, it refers to we have some other factors. We have some other factors causing the change, and it is not because of the price. So we know that if it is the change of its own price, it is the change in quantity demand. But this time, if they are caused by some other factors, so we have no way to present it in the graph just by this original demand curve, because there is a change in our demand schedule. So let's say I become richer, so I have a new quantity demand for ice cream. The reason is the income increase. This is I treat ice cream as a normal good, so when my income increase, I will buy more ice cream. Why not? So I will increase the quantity demand by, let's say, 1 unit for all given price. Just like this, because I'm richer, so I'm more willing, I'm more able to buy more ice cream. So we have already got our demand curve already. So let me try to plot it here really quickly. So this is the demand curve we got. So let's call it D1. Okay, right now, because my income increased, I got the new content demand of all given price. You can see that for all given price, I'm more willing and more able to buy more. So my have a new demand schedule and a new demand curve. So I have no space here. Hope you can understand it. So at the price of 6, the new quantity demand is 10 units. So you can observe that I see the new demand curve as D2. Now there is an increase in demand. There is a rightward shift of the demand curve, and it is due to other factors. The factors affecting here is because my income changed, my income increased. I treat ice cream as a normal good, that's why the demand increased. So I hope this video gives you the basic concept about demand, about quantity demand. You can identify the change in quantity demand versus change in demand. If you like this video, make sure you share this with your friends and family. Give this video a like